How many have joined till now? It's 10. Okay, will we continue? We will continue. Okay. So last class we are discussing about the SaaS, software as a service, and the service oriented architecture, SOA. So in SaaS or SaaS, it provides the direct solution or direct service to the end user only. Whereas the SOA provides, SOA is also itself a service. It provides the service to the application. It is the main point of designing or building a software. But the software as a service, it delivers that software to the subscriber through the internet or any online source. Now, when should SOA be used? The service oriented architecture is not the right answer for all the technological problems. So we can't say that SOA is always a proper solution for all our technological problems. We can't say always that it is always bring a good solution for all type of technological problems. But some of the common situations for SOA lends the value are. What are the common situations you may face? The new IT solutions that requiring the integration of enterprise capability from the disparate or any dissimilar IT systems and programming models. The increased efficiency in working with business partners for driving the revenue, saving the cost, and for offloading and non-core functions, improving employees' productivity by providing information they need when and where they need it. Okay, so it ultimately provides the working efficiency of any business to drive your revenue or to increase your revenue. Okay. Then leveraging the existing enterprise assets by making them accessible for reusable. Here the concept of reusability by increasing or developing the enterprise assets. Then permitting the organizations to change quickly in response to change the marketplace or competitive maintenance cross situation institution academic record. So it also allow the access to the organizations for any quick response. So it provides the access to make some changes according to the requirement. Then understanding the problem, what problems people who apply service oriented architecture are trying to solve. So what is their problems behind the technological issue? So what type of problems they are solving and how they are applying the SOA to solve their issues or problems. These problems can be categorized in the two major facts, and this the mismatch between the business and IT. There is always a trade-off or always a conflict in between the business and IT. So how to solve in this category of problems? Then duplication of functionality and process silos. Here again, if there is any operation you are doing and if any replica of your operations are occurring or any redundancy of your operation are there, so that may create some problems. That is the duplicacy of your functionality. And another one, process silos, the stacking of processes. Sir yesterday told about this silos, the stacking of processes. If there, and how to categorize this type of problems and how to solve it. One discipline that can help to solve these issues in the application of architecture in organization and in projects. So this can be, these issue can be resolved with the application of architecture in an organization. Then the first point among the two major problems, the mismatch between the business and IT. What is the conflict and what are the trade-off in between the two? As organizations are so dependent on information, it is very important that the technology that provides this information and is used to support these processes. So any organizations you are running, they are highly dependent on the information, highly dependent on the important data or informations for to contain all the technologies into their systems. So this information is used to support these processes in inline, means in a sequencer on an inline process with the need of organization. So they will just keep their informations which are very important for their organizations in an inline manner according to their requirement. This is what we call business and IT alignment. So this is the business requirement, what is the IT requirement, and they will just match according to the inline requirement. The Henderson and Venkatraman can be seen as the founding father of business IT alignment. You can find it. Then the objective of the business and IT alignment is to manage three separate risks. Okay, first one is your technical risk, then your organizational risk, and your business risk. The technical risk with attached to a function of a system or any system function or as it should. So these are the technical risks or any risk associated with your system function. Then your organizational risk, where the individuals within the organization use the system as they should. So it is within a organization, the individuals are using any system. Then the business risks, will the implementation and adoption of the system translate into business value? So whatever the implementation or any adoption we are doing for our system, will it affect your business value? Will it translate into your business value? So these are the three separate risks that are always associated with your IT project: technical risk, organizational risk, and then last one, business risk. The business value is jeopardized or any adventure unless all three risks are managed successfully. So your business value will be improved or will be enhanced or leveraged if you are ready to take the risk. Jeopardize means to take the risk. Then the technical mismatch or the technical misalignment of business and IT manifests in two ways. Okay. So what are the technical mismatch or any misalignment? IT is not able to change fast enough through with the business. IT is not able to deliver the functionality the business needs correctly. Okay, so it will not change our business. Sorry, the IT will not be changed to change the business very fast, or it is also not able to deliver the functionality of the according to for the business requirement. The first item, the IT not being able to change the fast enough. So IT is not changing very fast enough with the business. If your business is growing or business is changing very fast, but IT cannot be synchronized with the business, it is slower. So IT not being able to change very fast or fast enough, it is becoming more and more important in today's market. It is one of the problems that SOA can help you to solve. In this regard, then SOA will play its important role to solve this type of problems if you will apply it very correctly. Means there is always a conflict or trade-off in between IT and business. It is important thing. because IT may not solve all the requirement or functionality is very fast, and business moving is very fast, but IT is not moving in that fast way. So how to make this type of trade-off? So how to change this type of problems? So if you want to change this type of problems, you have to change your system or incorporate the service associated with your SOA. Then the second one is the duplication of any functionality and data. First one is the IT and business problem. Then duplicacy or duplication of functionality and data. Traditionally, companies are organized very functionally, and all these departments use their own IT systems. Every organizations are or departments are operating with their own IT systems that keep track of the data they need, and that IT system helps to keep the data according to the need. Because all the departments use their own IT systems and these systems are not connected to each other, information duplicated within organization. So what is happening? Every department, just like your college or any software IT companies, they have different departments and also they are using their own IT systems. By this reason, sometimes what happens, some informations in every department become larger and become redundant, which is a duplication of any organization, which is a information duplication, the duplication of your information. So here the information is duplicated within an organization. This can lead to differences between the departments because the information is not only stored but also changed in the systems. Okay, so in the different departments, the information is not only stored but also changed in these systems, and this lead to
Sir, you are muted.
Sir, you are not audible, sir. I think now I am audible. Am I audible? Yes, right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So sometimes what is happening, due to the bad network quality, automatically it is going muted. So okay, the process silos means you are stacking a lot of required or important functionalities or informations with your own, means you are self-sufficient. When you will be self-sufficient, if all the necessary requirements are available with you only. So any department will be said self-sufficient and isolated when they have all type of required functionalities with themselves only. That is the organizational silos. So departments that are self-sufficient and isolated from the other departments are called organizational silos. These silos not only lead to duplication of functionality and data, but also suboptimal process execution. So it will also not lead to the duplication of any functionality. And also it has the tendency or capability to optimize the process execution. The processes are divided based on the organizational structure. So all the processes which are to be executed are divided according to the structure of an organization, and that is not based on the most efficient end-to-end process. These processes are often referred to as process silos. So one is your organizational silos, where the departments are independent and self-sufficient, and another one is your process silos, where all the organizational structures are not based on the efficient end-to-end process. So even though the front office optimized its processing time, the total end-to-end client process has become slower because of the organizational silos. Still, if you are thinking that our process is optimized and the total end-to-end client process has become still slower because of the organizational silos, where the departments are self-sufficient. Here, the time is increasing from the registering order to delivery order, and what we have to fulfill, the receive order, get more information, and create the products. So still it is time consuming process, means it will become slower. Now the enterprise architecture, it is tasked to ensure the business IT alignment. So it will provide a proper alignment, means inline of any process of a organization or business IT organization. It should be with a proper business IT alignment. Service-oriented architecture is about to bridging the gap between the business and IT. So SOA helps. It already told that the business or IT is not synchronized. Always there will be a problem occurring in between the business and IT confliction. So to resolve that issue, we need a service of SOA, which provides a bridging in between the business and IT through well-defined business alignments. And that aligned services are developed by subscribing to established design principle, frameworks, pattern, and methodology. So the SOA helps to bridge the gap between the business and IT, which are properly defined with the design principles, frameworks, and pattern and methods. The objectives of enterprise architecture and service-oriented architecture are very much similar. However, the enterprise architecture is a framework that covers all dimensions of enterprise architecture, whereas SOA provides an architectural strategy, and that concept is used as a service for the underpinning business IT alignment. So the enterprise architecture and the SOA architecture are very much similar, whereas enterprise architecture provides a framework for the entire dimension of any IT architecture, but SOA provides an architecture based on the concept of a service, which provides an alignment in between the business and IT entity. The SOA myth and facts. We will go details. What are the actual facts and what are the myths behind it? There are several myths associated with SOA. Means these are not accepted, but there is a wrong concept, the myths that is associated with SOA, which are very important to understand before digging deeper into it. What is the actual fact and what we are thinking in our mind as a myth? SOA is a technology. No, it is not actually a technology. So what is actually a fact? Now SOA is a design philosophy that is independent of any vendor, product, technology, and industry trend. No vendor will ever offer a complete SOA stack because SOA needs vary from one organization to another. The services or the SOA varies from organization to organization, and only one industry or one vendor may not provide all the complete SOA stack, since it is changing from one organization to another organization. Purchasing or SOA infrastructure from a single vendor defeats the purchase of investing in SOA. So if you are purchasing the SOA infrastructure, then the SOA service from any single vendor, it may defeat the purpose of investing in SOA. Then SOA requires web service. It is a myth. It's not like that. But SOA may be realized via web service. SOA may not require the web service, but it can be designed by using some web services, and that are not necessarily required to implement SOA. Then SOA is new and revolutionary. No. Previously it was primitive SOA, then contemporary SOA. Primitive means the earlier one, the SOA services with the primitive ones, then contemporary one, the advanced ones. Here the EDI, electronic data interchange, CORBA, common object resource broker architecture, then DCOM, distributed communication, where the conceptual examples are SOA. These are the examples of SOA: EDI, CORBA, and DCOM. SOA ensures the alignment of IT and business. It not provides the guarantee or any ensurety. Rather, it is not a methodology. SOA is not a methodology. A SOA reference architecture reduces the implementation tax. It is a myth. But what is the actual fact? SOA are like snowflakes. No two are the same. The architecture and the implementation are not same. A SOA reference architecture may not necessarily provide the best solution for an organization. It may not provide. It provides a solution, but it may not be best solution. So it is a myth that SOA reference architecture reduces the implementation risk. SOA requires a complete technology and business process overhaul. No, SOA should be incremental and built upon your current investment. We need to build SOA. Whether we are building it, no. SOA is a means and it is not an end. Means it is providing SOA, it is a means through which you are getting the service for any solution of a problem. It focuses on delivering a solution. It is a mean that delivers a solution, but not an SOA. SOA is a mean to delivering your solution and should not be your end. Okay. Then architectural ontology. What is the? We have the architecture. Now we will learn about the different types of architecture that you can apply or use for your organization to ensure business and IT alignment. This will put service-oriented architecture in a prospective way, means in a futuristic way. There are two different axes on which you plot your architecture. One is scope of the system and other one is your generalization purpose. So scope can be really big or specific and small. Okay. So you can plot with your scope and your generalization technique. The ontology is the philosophical study of the nature of a being, becoming, existence, or reality, as well as the basic category of a being and their relationships. So it is a philosophical study. Then ontology of computer science. It is a rigorous and exhaustive organization of some knowledge domain. Means rigorously and exhaustive organization of some knowledge domain that is usually hierarchical and contains all the relevant entities and their relations. The service-oriented architecture, it is a reference architecture that guides and constraints over the solution architecture. It has also the scope in the enterprise architecture, project architecture, software architecture, and many more. So it is a reference architecture also. Then EA or enterprise architecture. Okay. If the scope of the architecture that consists of the entire company or any organization, or the architecture scope spans multiple organizations, we practice enterprise architecture. So here the scope of any architecture consists of the entire company or organization of a architecture. The enterprise architecture is the organizing logic. It is the main organizing logic. Which one? The enterprise architecture. And it is for business process, IT infrastructure, reflecting the integration and standardization requirements of the company's operating model. The architecture provides a long-term view of a company's process, their systems and technologies, so that individual project can build capabilities, not just fulfill immediate needs. So this EA or enterprise architecture provides a long-term view of any company's the system or any process or any technology. So all are in a long term for an individual project. Next, reference architecture. So is a reference architecture also. There are a lot of similarities between the different organizations in the same industry. Let there is same industry means some industry are developing or producing some particular products, but there are different organizations. So there are some similarities in between them. So a reference architecture in the field of software architecture or enterprise architecture provides a template solution. Means template solutions means if you have some commonalities or similarities of your organizations with any other organization, what you are doing, you will use a template. Means some ready-made solutions for your requirement of your organization. So that provides a template solution for an architecture for a particular domain. It also provides a common vocabulary, some common vocabulary which are accepted by some organizations to discuss their implementations, often with the aim to stress the commonalities. Why they are use the common vocabulary? The first objective to discuss the implementation of any functions. Then their main stress is on the what are the commonalities in between it. The generalized enterprise reference architecture and methodology, that is GERAM, is a generalized enterprise architecture framework for enterprise integration and business process engineering. So this GERM, generalized enterprise reference architecture and methodology, it provides a generalized framework, which EA framework, enterprise architecture framework for the enterprise integration and the business process engineering. This framework was developed in 1990s by the IFAC, the International Federation of Automatic Control, Task Force on Architecture and Enterprise Integration. Then using reference architecture has several advantages. The standardization of terminology, the main objective, the end of the end user, the taxonomy and the services working with supplier and partner. So what are the advantages of using a reference architecture? Here we are studying about the SWA. So it helps in standardizing the terminology, taxonomy and the service working with suppliers and partners. It reduces the cost of developing the enterprise architecture, since you are using some ready-made reference architecture. Means it will be less time consuming, it will be cost effective. The organization can focus on what sets it apart from the reference architecture and other organizations in the industry instead of reinventing the wheel. So rather reinventing for any of the business requirement. So they are using with the reference architecture. It makes it easier to implement commercial of the self COTS software because the common terminology and the processes we are using. So it is easier to implement because of the COTS software, commercial of the self, since they are using some common terminology and processes. Then obviously RA reference architecture also has some disadvantages. What are the side effects or disadvantages? It takes some time to learn the industry reference. It is time consuming. Why? It takes time to learn the reference architecture properly, to get the proper knowledge, to find its proper knowledge domain. It needs time, and they are often complete. The reference architecture is typically written by a group of people from different organizations, so it is result of a compromise. Since it is written by a group of people, so sometimes their minds may not match while they are writing it, and you have to go for a compromise. Then the solution architecture. It is a detailed description of any specification building blocks to realize a business need. For all our business needs, we have to build the building blocks, and to specify it properly. So here it is detailed described. Open group recognizes the different type of solutions in the solution continuum. Now, first one, your foundation solutions. This can be a programming language, a process, or other highly generic concepts, tools, products, and services. It is an example of a process in Business Information Service Library, BISL. Also, it is a framework that is used for business information management. So, in management information system, this framework very much helpful. So, the first one was the foundation solution. The next one is your common system solution. Here, for example, the CRM system or the ERP system for all the security it will provide. It provides all type of security solutions for any CRM systems, ERP systems. Now, the industry solutions. These are solutions for a specific industry. They are built from foundation solutions and the common system solutions. So, industry solution, here they are combining the both solutions. One is your foundation solution and the previous one common system solution, and are augmented with industry specific components. Okay. Also, augmented means adding with some industry specific components. Then the organization specific solutions. An example of this is the solution for the health insurance companies that want to offer self-service to prospective clients. And this solution architecture describes the multi-channel solution for the organization and the tools and products that are used to implement it and the relationship between different players. So, in an organizational specific solutions, that describes a multi-channel solution from like some different multi-fault solution for any organization. The difference between the RA and SA, your reference architecture and the solution architecture. It is that reference architecture is a generic reference where the common problems are described together with their principles and constraints, and also they have some rules and procedure to solve these issues. Solution architecture describes specific solutions, just like in a organizational specific solutions. Here they are used to solve a specific problem. For example, the Dutch reference architecture, NORA, is used as a reference for the solution architecture in a municipality. NORA is a Netherlands overhead referencing architecture. So it is an architecture, NORA, NORA. It is used as a reference for solution architecture. So solution architecture are for a specific purpose or for some specific problems, whereas the reference architecture provides the reference to the solution architecture. Then after reference architecture and solution architecture, we have the project architecture. It defines what part of a solution architecture will be realized by the project. In the solution architecture, it is meant for some specific solutions for some particular problems. Where in the project architecture, in that solution architecture, where is the part is there in your solution architecture to realize a project or in its scope. This can overlap with a solution architecture if there is only one project needed to realize the solution. If you are with only one project needed to design or to realize the solution architecture, it can help. So this can overlap with solution architecture. If the solution is too big for one project, or there are different parts that are assigned to different projects, then the project architecture describes what part of the solution architecture will be realized in the project. So if for any one solution architecture there, or any one solution is there, or one project is there, then that will be needed to realize with your solution architecture. Otherwise, if multiple projects or different projects are there, then the project architecture will describe which part of the solution architecture or what part of the solution architecture to be realized in the project. It has the project architecture serves for two purposes. First, guiding the enterprise or solution architecture, and the next, to provide the input for or change the enterprise or solution architecture. Then the software architecture. First one is your reference architecture, then solution architecture, then project architecture, here software architecture. It is focused on the structure of the software. What structure it is maintaining. It can be viewed as a special type of solution architecture. It is also can be viewed as one special type of solution architecture, project architecture, or part of the technology architecture. The target audience of this type of architectures are the developers. So who are the target audience in the software architecture? They are nothing but the developers. Upon these are not referred to as architecture, but rather as software design. So sometimes also we tell it as the software design. Now, after the reference architecture, solution architecture, project architecture, and software architecture, we have the service-oriented architecture. Okay. The chapter 1 is the entire concept of all the chapters which are in your Thomas Hall book, service-oriented architecture. The chapter 1 covering all the chapters, their main gist or important components in the chapter 1. This service-oriented architecture is a reference architecture that can be applied in some organizations as a part of a supply or supply chain or any network and organizations, and that have to deal with a lot of regulatory changes or fast changing markets. So these are some reference architectures mainly applied with the organizations for any supply chain or network or any organizations, mainly that are dealing with some changes, the market change or regulatory change, everything. It makes it possible to change part of the IT landscape and processes without affecting other parts. The reusing existing functionality make sure that it can be changed quickly because you don't have to start from scratch every time. Since you have the reusability capability with the existing functionality, you should ensure that it can be changed very quickly. Since you don't have to start from the scratch or from the very beginning every time, and also it is cheaper, cost effective. Here, the set diagram of all the various architectures, how they are sharing with other architects. The SOA or the service oriented architecture has the reference architecture, and it has the scope of business architect, solution architect, technical architect, and infrastructure architect. All are in the enterprise architect. Summary. Service oriented architecture is a specific reference architecture that helps to solve the data and functionality duplication. If there are any duplication of a functionality or data, just I told, in any organizations and any different departments are there, and different departments are handling their own informations and data. What will happen if proper synchronization is not, if not made within the organization, that may lead to the duplication of data and functionality, those making the companies that apply this more flexible and operate more efficiently. SOA is a conceptual business architecture. Here, business functionality or application logic is made available to the SOA users or consumers, a shared reusable service or an IT network. You just go for this definition, is a fundamental or standard one. Okay, there are a lot of definitions of SOA in different aspects according to different authors, but their main objective is same. So here it is providing the reusable service in the IT network. Services in an SOA are modules of business or application functionality with exposed interface and are invoked by messages. So this is one of the another definition. Now, the concept with web service and the SOA service. SOA sometimes take the help of the web services, but also without web service, SOA services are functional in an organization. The SOA service can be realized as a web service. It can be, but not all web services are equal to SOA services. The web services are self-describing services. Web services are self-describing. We will go over various type of web services in our SOA. So these are some self-described, that all the specifications and standards are described with their own web services, and that will perform well-defined tasks and can be accessed through the web. It can perform some well-defined tasks and can be evaluated or accessed through the web. And SOA is an architecture paradigm. It is a typical example of an architecture that focuses on building the systems through the use of different web services and integrating them into make a whole system, to make a complete system. Okay. It is building the systems by using the web services, and that web services are integrated together to provide a complete system. The SOA services are the services that fulfill a key step or activity of a business process and can be described as business services and are often exposed to as web services. So, as a service, it can fulfill some few important or key steps of a business process and also are described as the business services and can be often expressed as the web services. In and so on. Hello?
Sir.
Hello? Please.
Sir, please go back to slide number 41 again.
41.
41.
Right.
Yeah. Previous slide. Yeah. In that second point, sir, can you please 41, 41.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. In the second point, can you please explain it a little bit more that
Yes, sure,
how
sure,
a web
sure.
service is
Here it is.
self-describing and a SOA service is not self-describing?
Here, first the SOA is an architecture paradigm. That one.
No.
Huh. Here, it is a typical example of an architecture. Which one? The SOA. Main of it is a, already we have discussed, it is a reference architecture. It is a typical example of a reference architecture, and mainly it focuses on building the systems. When building the system means the software of any system, the building the software of any system by providing the services where it is using different web services. Various web services are there that will be used to build the software of a system. We can realize with the web services. SOA can be realized, the SOA services can be realized with the web services. And we are integrating all the web services to give a, to get a, or to provide a complete system. Just like you can remember the word interoperability. Okay. Where multiple functions are operated simultaneously and their solutions in the later stage are combined or composed to provide a complete solution. Here they are integrated to provide a complete software system or the whole system. You understand? Means here the individual components first to decompose, just previously, first to decompose the problem. After decomposing, solve it, and the later stage you compose it to provide a final solution or end solution. It is also same thing. We are integrating the web services through the SOA. Okay. Hello.
Okay, sir. So basically, this SOA service will be it will be containing a group of web services, right?
Containing. It
Yeah.
can be realized with web services.
Okay.
But not all the web services, we can say that all the web services are the SOA services. But it can be. But not all the web services are the SOA services. Okay. So basically it is taking all the web services, different web services, various WSDL, SOAP, REST, UDDI, XML, XML encryption, XML signature, many more web services are there. We will cover many more web services where they are integrated to provide the final solution. Okay.
Thank you.
So in a service oriented architecture, the business processes, their activities and workflow are broken down into the some constituent functional elements. Just I told right now. If you have a very larger problem, what you are doing? We are just subdividing into small units so that it will be easier to resolve it or to provide the solution for it. Once you will get the solution, if you have a large or a lengthy code for you, then what you are doing? You are just separating it or decomposing the codes, then resolving it or executing it, and at the end you are integrating all the small solutions to get a bigger solution. Here also in the SOA business processes, the activities and workflows are broken down into some fundamental constituent elements or units that are your services. And that services will provide some small solutions, and later you will integrate all the services, all the web services to get a whole or complete solution or complete software system. Okay. Am I audible?
Yes, yes. Go
Yes,
ahead.
sir.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes. Okay. They can be assessed or evaluated by using the directly by the applications, or they can be mixed and matched with other services to create new business capabilities. They have also the capability to be evaluated or assessed directly by the application, or also they can also be mixed with some other services to create the business capability. Means directly or by mixing with other services to provide the new business capabilities. The business cap services or SOA services are reusable business capability. The business services or the SOA services, they are the reusing the business capabilities. An example of banking include opening account or changing address. I mean, all are the services associated in this business services. Now, why to adopt SOA? In 1917, Forbes compiled first 100 largest American companies list. In 1987, it published its 100 list and compared it to the 1970 list. Just compare. One is in the 1917, another one is 1987. In that time also 100 largest company, here also 100 list. Of the original group, 61 had ceased to exist. Out of the 100, top 100 means the largest 100, 61 ceased. And of the remaining 31, only 18 had managed to stay in the top 100. Just imagine. And this is the reasoning. What is the reason behind it? Now, lack of maintaining the agility, the faster movement of their business. And that time they were not implementing any SOA solution. So what is the solution for it? Why they just ceased? Or they had ceased? The lack of maintaining the agility. And the IT and business synchronization. The business solution and IT solution synchronization should be there. And the solution is here, the SOA. Now, here, why? CEO said that you have to achieve the revenue growth, the cost reduction, asset utilization, and risk management. Okay, so here the business models are with 28%, operations with 30%, and product service market 42%. Okay. 65% of the world top corporate CEOs declare that due to the pressure from competitive and market force, because you have to move very fast for your business in the market. Otherwise, it will be provide a lot of pressures for the competitive market. So they plan to radically change their companies in the next 2 years. So more than 80% of CEOs started their own organizations. Started their organizations that have not been very successful at managing or changing in the past. 50%, 54% started strategy flexibility was a top benefit of the business. And they wanted to innovate with the business model, operations, and their product services. So this is the reason for adopting SOA. Today, the very survival of a business hinges on its ability to adapt the IT to meet ever-changing business challenges. Always in the market, you will find a business challenge. You have to move very fast. Otherwise, if there will not be any synchronization in between your IT and the business goal, then you will be lagging behind. SOA helps the business and IT to unify the goals and bridge the gap between very separate worlds by establishing a common language and creating a more flexible infrastructure to support the change. Okay. Now, SOA is a business approach to building IT systems that allow the business to leverage the existing assets. It will just help to improve or increase the existing assets and also help to create the new ones. Also easily enable the inevitable changes, means the sudden changes which are coming to the market, inevitable changes required to support the business. SOA means it is a smarter business and smarter IT. There is always a trade-off in between the business and IT. SOA can make it easier and faster to build and deploy IT systems directly serve the goal of a business. The SOA integrates the business requirements with an IT framework that simultaneously addresses the existing systems and enables the business changes. SOA enables the business to keep it focused on the business, and it allows the IT to evolve to keep pace in a dynamically. So here for SOA, we are adopting SOA with the IT system and the required business change. Okay. So main focus is to change and the IT solutions which are dynamically changing. Therefore, you should keep a pace for it. Very fast you have to. The SOA enables business to make business decisions. SOA helps to enable the businesses for which you can take the business decisions that is supported by the technology. Because your business is moving faster with the technology only. Instead of making any business decision, it is determined by or constrained by any technology. Okay, there should not be any constraint or any determined constraint by the technology. And with SOA, the folks in IT finally get to say yes. More often they are saying no. So now, no need to explain it here. It is the evolution of any application technology. Evolution of the SOA. How we are moving towards the contemporary SOA from the primitive SOA. This is the evolution technique. Initially what it was and which system now here. Now we have the service oriented applications with the contemporary SOA. In the very beginning, if you check, there are only mainframe applications, then the client server applications in a network, then the internet applications. Now the service based applications or the service oriented applications. Now the ERP, enterprise resource planning. In an ERP system, when it is implemented, it would be helpful in doing the business transactions related to human resource, their payrolls, absence management, accounting, purchasing, etc. It is known to you already. The ERP, how ERP helps us. And the main functionality of ERP is to integrate all the roles or functions in an organization so that they share information with each other. So all the other, apart from the human resource, payroll, absence management, and accounting purchasing service of ERP, it also provides another functionality that can integrate the roles and functions in an organization, which can help to share the information with each other. SOA, in general, SOA could be termed as a tool for developing software. Already we told that it is a reference architecture that helps for developing a software system to provide a complete software solution. The main functionality behind SOA is the reusability. It provides the platform for reusability of any function or operation. Then ERP that using the SOA. Service-oriented architecture, it can be found at the heart of an ERP system. Whatever the ERP system you are visualizing or watching today, the main heart of the ERP is here. SOA. It can be found at the heart of an ERP system. The ERP systems often store the similar data that is shared by various modules or function areas in a single place. They are not always in the same environment. Which are the ERP or SOA? They are not always in the same or in a same platform. But SOA is more likely to be found in an integrated system. You know what various type of integrated system you can find the SOA. Then there are differences. SOA is a tool that is transparent to system users. That already told that in the ERP, SOA is a heart of it. ERP is an architecture linking the multiple functions together. If you will compare, like comparing a house with a home, Okay, your Hummer is a SOA and house is your ERP, enterprise resource planning. And one is used to build the other, but you can't live in a Hummer. So both are interconnected. SOA and ERP. You can't assume Hummer was used because there are other tools such as Nail or Guns. SOA is a subset of ERP. Within the ERP, SOA is a subset. And having a core functionality of reusability. The main functionality of SOA is providing the platform for reusability. On the other hand, ERP is more likely for connecting the functionalities themselves like payroll, absent management, finance, etc. Attendance sheet, absent management, everything. Okay, in SOA, there are CRM, database, SCM system, financial portals, legacy apps, ERPs, everything are with the SOA. So SOA is a subset of ERP. So for all type of software solutions on the ERPs and the database or any financial system, there is SOA. Now we are comparing SOA with the cloud. It is important to have a service-oriented architecture in place before you move to the cloud. It is said by Tierney. So you should have to be in a service-oriented architecture before you move to the cloud. Though few companies will shift quickly over to the 100% SOA, the aggressive introduction of the cloud brings urgency to the SOA model. Addressing the challenges of the hybrid cloud requires a cultural shift for IT as well as a forward-looking SOA platform. The IT must take the initiative to get the executive buy-in in the evolving hybrid cloud model. So the IT must take some initiative to get that executive buy-in evolving hybrid cloud model or risk being
What happened, Deba? Network problem came or what?
Sir, I am continuing. Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
These are all pre-discussions. You can skip it. You can skip it. Just next you go to BPL or you can go down, Deba. A lot of introduction it has given. Lot of introduction. All these are not there in the book. I think we have added extra.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Some additional services we have.
Some additional things we have added. Some additional example. You skip that.
Sir,
Just
5-6 slides. I'm just covering it very fast.
No. Go to the leave it that. BPL activities you tell. BPL, yeah. BPL
Oh,
3 you tell.
yes,
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
What is BPL?
Yes, sir. It is a language, business process execution language. Already we have discussed in your software architecture, BPEL. It is a language for defining the executable business process. It enables the definition of business process with the help of web services. It coordinates a set of web service interactions. The degree of interoperability at any process level. So it describes the process and use it in the different runtime infrastructure. It is a degree of interoperability. BPL is interoperable. So where it comes from? Now it builds from an XML, extensible markup language and web services. And also it converges of two workflow with your XML and web services. So the BPL defines the executable processes by specifying the activities and their execution order, partners that interacts with the processes, data necessary, which is resulting some execution, messages that can be exchanged between the client server or any partner. Then fault handling, it is in case of any error or any exceptions. Example is similar, simplified structure, it is given here. or in a BPL model in the XML language, your activities, the partner links, the messages, the fault handlers, everything. Then BPL activities invoke. It is invoking the operations offered by any partner web service. Receive. It waiting for the messages from the partner web service. Reply. It is capturing the interactions. Once capturing the interactions, it will reply. Wait. Delaying the process execution. Assign. Updating the variables. Then throw. Signaling the false. Then rethrow. It is propagating the faults that are not solved. Compensate. It is triggering a compensation. So these are some activities. Then empty or null, that is doing nothing. Exit, ending the process immediately. Then example, order fulfillment process. We'll go detail in the next chapter where we have the RELCO and the transit line system, TLS.
Okay, you skip this. Devo, you skip this.
This is there. The whole in the whole chapter, many more examples are there.
Okay, you skip this one. They will study it in the next class.
Yes.
Yeah.
And already, sir, you have completed this orchestration.
I have told just you see the coordinator or the master is or the conductor. He is sometimes called conductor, sometimes called coordinator, sometimes called master. Master. So in a small team, he has, you see, different varieties of instruments. What are they? They are woodwinds. The instrument made of wood. What are they? Flute, oboes, saxophone. You check in the net. Clarinets. I think you have seen the clarinet. In the orchestra, the person who stands in the middle uses the clarinet. I hope you have seen it. Bassoons. So these are the
black color, sir. The clarinet, that is black color.
Yeah, the person who stands in the middle. Yeah, the clarinet during the orchestra, during the marriage function. So in an orchestra, for example, he has here 5 different kinds of instrument. People engaged in 5 different instruments. Maybe in flute, there may be 5%. In clarinet, there may be 5%. So likewise, brass instrument made of brass, trumpet, French horns, trombones, tuba, a lot of brass instruments are there, where you use it in particular style and a particular music comes out. Another group is percussion, timpani, snare drum, cymbals, bells. So this is one. Then strings, violin, cello, double bass. Then another group, drums. So just very few sample I have given, very few sample. So the master or the conductor chooses the particular instrument for a particular music. For example, in violin, there may be, you see how many people are there. So many people are there. So he will permit 7 to 8% in violin. So likewise, violin plus drum plus trumpet plus flute. So you will decide how best the music will be. So that is orchestra. What is choreography? Choreography is a set of musicians taken from more than one orchestra group. Next, this is choreography is more than one orchestra, 2-3 orchestra, from 2-3 group, a set of people will be taken. So what is that? An orchestra? It's an Italian word. is a large instrumental ensemble. Ensemble means where a lot of people have been assembled. A typical classical music which features string instruments such as violin, these are the string, as well as brass, woodwinds, percussion, grouped in sections. In each one there are a big group. Other instruments such as piano, celesta may sometimes appear in a fifth keyboard section, some keyboard, so something like that. So the conductor chooses his interest, how the music will be the best. So the term orchestra derives from the Greek word, the name of the area in front of the stage, the name of the area. That word was basically it's an area in front of the stage, reserved from Greek chorus. It's sometimes called as the symphony orchestra or philharmonic orchestra. You check in the net. Okay, so here we'll be doing the same thing. We'll be doing the same thing. We'll pick which web service is ideal for what type of activity. What type of activity we have to pick. So the conductor picks, chooses. Okay, we'll stop it here. Debo will stop it.
Yes,
So
sir.
tomorrow we'll have the
next-
lab.
Yes.
Tomorrow we'll have the lab at 2:15. Abhishek, आप आए हो? Abhishek है? Abhishek is there? No. Okay.
He was there, sir. Right now. he's not.
Okay, we'll talk. We'll talk. Debo, you ask him to contact
I will
me.
talk
Okay.
to him, sir. I will talk to
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
Yes.
So you give them one assignment. I'll ask Debo, Abhishek to give assignment on XML. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Last time had they done something on XML or no? No,
Yes,
I
sir.
think. Any Nirmal, did you do something in XML in last semester? No.
No, sir.
Have you learned in your BTech career?
No, sir.
No, sir. Sab to no or kya? Okay. So tomorrow you go through XML today. Okay?
Yes, sir.
You go through. Tomorrow you have to solve a small problem on XML. You have to learn it. It's very much necessary. Okay? So
Okay.
tomorrow one assignment will be given and you have to solve it. So all the boys, be careful. We'll have the lab at 2:15, 2:15 to 5:15 or 6:15. I don't know how long it takes. But come prepared with XML language. Go through the tutorial. In YouTube, a lot of tutorials are there. So go through it. We'll start the lab tomorrow. And it's very much necessary for SOA class, for cloud-based application. Okay? So try to learn something so that we can supplement something more tomorrow. Okay? Okay. Okay. Thank you all. Thank you all. Debo, you take the attendance. Okay?
Yes.
Debo.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, please. Please take the
17
attendance.
present. 17 present.
Okay. Who is absent?
2 are absent.
You
One-
note it
Dr.
down. Who
Kumar,
is